welcome your J.R. Ward.
In case people are new here, what we basically do is throw shit at each other for 2 hours.
I love all of your books, and I've read all of the side stories and everything, but I feel like the side stories keep getting missed in like the big picture. Do they ever come into play? Like, does Lucy and like Daniel, do they like come to the main house and see everybody? Like, do they all, like the prisoners? I loved that. Do they come in and like actually hang out with the Brotherhood?
Yes. Absolutely. So one of the big challenges is this is a huge world. And I think this is part of the reason why I decided to do the time jump is there are so many stories. The books were getting so sprawly. I feel like it needed to be kind of corralled and refocused. And I wanted to bring more about the original brothers in, and then their children seemed like, I mean, I would want to know like what these kids do if I were a reader, because eventually, not anytime soon, but there will be a last book that gets written. And I would hate to do that before the whole thing is, we all know where everyone ended up. But yes, they absolutely do hang out. Yes?
You know, I typically don't ask questions, but thinking of what you said, have you ever thought about doing like short stories or vignettes where we see all these characters just getting together in different activities, somebody getting married or a birthday or whatever?
Yeah. So I used to do this thing called Slices of Life. And I think, for those of you who are members, get my newsletter, I'm starting to do the newsletters again, and I think it'd be a really good opportunity to do some Slices of Life there. Exactly as you're talking, because it is kind of fun, and I have all this in my head, you know?
I want that.
She's like, I want that download, okay? Download. Clothing optional, but downloading. Downloading.
Hi, I absolutely love your books. One of my favorite parts was when Lassiter put V in the bubble.
Oh, God, I love it. Oh, yes, I love that.
V is one of my all-time favorites. Rage is my love of my life. But I want to ask about Butch and V. Do them and their wives ever get together and play, maybe? Inquiring minds want to know. Sorry.
Give me the fucking mic. Okay. How many people, oh God, this is going to go really badly. I don't care. How many people remember that I told a lie about Vicious? I do. Okay, she's like, I do. Present. When Lover Unbound came out, which was the book after Lover Revealed. Oh my God. She looks at me, she's like, are you really going to do this? Okay. It was a very different time in this country and sort of in the world. And I would not say that Butch and Marissa and V and Doc Jane get together to have dinner. But this person's like, boom, chicka, wow, wow. But I would say that Butch and Vicious get together for a meal every once in a while. I'm leaving it where the baby Jesus playing it. I just am saying, and yes, the name of the book where Vicious and Butch get together is called Lover Goes Down, and she was the one who named it.
Hello. Hi. I would like to know if we would ever get a book about Fritz.
Okay. All right. Here's the thing with the Fritz. This is not the first time we've had the Fritz conversation. I learned last night, in circumstances that will not be repeated, that there was such a thing as a wrinkle room, and I'm not going to go into it. And the problem with doing, like, what am I writing about Fritz? Like, am I writing an entire book about him scrubbing floors? Like, it's not history, but I can't, I can't, honey, he deserves love too, but I don't want to see it, okay? Like, I'm sorry, I will take one for the team for you all, but that is not the one I'm taking.
Hi. Can you tell us if there will be a Readers on the River 25 and what we can expect from it?
Okay, so it's my understanding that they are going to do Readers on the River. I'm part of it, but it's actually organized by Liz Berry. She wants to do it in 2026 instead of 2025. So we had to do the 2 back-to-back, even though it's every other year. So we're getting back on the same schedule we were on originally, because we did the first 2 back-to-back, then we took out a year, we got in the ass by COVID, and then we got screwed again and so we pulled the force majeure out of our ass and went and then didn't have to pay the penalty, but we had to sign on for 2 years back to back, and that was last year, and this is more information than you asked for, but the bottom line is it's my understanding the next one will be 2026, and I hope to see all of you there.
Hopefully you don't curse at me again. Or if you do, I'll be super happy. Okay. First, I kind of wonder why, like, Zadist, I was expecting more of an extreme reaction from him in this book, and it seemed very mild for him. Like, were there parts that you had to edit out, minus the whole he tried to threaten to castrate a guy before? But with Nate, I feel like it was very subdued.
Well, so you mean like when, like in that alley when he sort of found them together? Just in general. I think, okay, so here's the thing. If I had shown you him losing his shit and going crazy and being disrespectful to his daughter and disrespecting, like, you can disapprove without being disrespectful. And I feel like for him to have had a violent reaction would have been the Zadist before Lover Awakened. It would have been the Zadist before all of his years of working with Mary. So I get what you're saying, but I also think that it's more realistic that he would just, like, because she was really in it. By the way, if you haven't read the book, I'm sorry. My apologies. But, like, I feel like, you know, I think that's like one of the hard things as a parent. But she really knew that if she went with Nate until the last couple of scenes, and by the way, if you got to the monster truck scene, that's like one of my favorite scenes of all time. And so when I saw her coming out of the tunnel and into that garage, I saw this thing under a tarp. I was like, what's under the tarp? And she goes over and starts looking at it. I'm like, excuse me, can we look under the tarp? There's a tarp right up. I want to know what's up. And I had no idea what was under the tarp until all of a sudden I saw the scene where it explodes out. And that is like one of, like, to me, that is Zeta's daughter, you know? But anyway, so I think that there would have been a permanent fracture between the two of them if he hadn't come on board and supported Nate. But I feel like a really violent reaction wouldn't have been true to who he is now and where he's ended up. Does that make sense? I get the impression you would have liked to have seen the castration scene, however. Okay, is this a kink? Because I don't kink shame. Okay.
So this is from like a previous book, and I just have a question about it. So when Beth goes through her needing and wants to have a kid, and we know she moves out because Wrath and her argue about it. You described him as a psycho hose beast. Did you get that from Wayne's World?
Yes. There was some Wayne's World available in the hose beast. It's true. I am a child of the 80s and the 90s. And proud of it.
That was the only time I had ever
heard hose beast. Yeah.
Hi. This is my first ever event.
How's it going?
I absolutely love it, and I absolutely love you. You're my favorite author.
Oh, thank you.
I was wanting to ask the question. Actually, 2 questions. We need more vicious I want his kinky side. I want everything. I want the bondage. I want everything. Come on now. We need more.
She's like, bring it on.
Yes, bring it. Come on now. And does Wrath go out and fight behind Beth's back again like he did? Oh, dang. Damn it. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's going to go tits up. So the whole key to where we're headed in the series is what Biddy tells LW. And which is told to Wrath. So that's sort of the direction we're going in.
Okay. So, not necessary, babe. I've been reading you since like the early 2000s, let me say. I used to have to wait for every book, and that sucked really badly. Anyway, my question is, are we going to hear anything from Blade? Because you kind of made him... Yes. I have one more question, though.
Okay. Yes, and if you read A Bloom in Winter, you're going to see a little bit of him. Blade.
Okay. Damn, my brain went blank. I don't remember my other question. Do you know that you had Butch reform once, though? And you had Butch reform once. Okay. Saxton and Run. Can they have a baby one day?
Yeah, well, not biologically. There are certain garages that you park things in that they have the things you park in the garages. They don't have the garage. Yeah. Well, okay. Yes, they can do IVF, but they need a garage. Assuming they have a garage, yes. I think they'd be fabulous parents too. Oh my God, I love Saxon and Run.
I've kind of been wondering with some of the names, where you come up with them? And I ask because I had adopted a dog, and she didn't answer the name she came with or anything else that we threw at her. And we were 7 years ago. We're talking about a new character in your book. That got a reaction. Really? So I say she named herself. I have an 80-pound itty bitty.
I love that. So I'll see. So it started out with Wrath, who came into my mind, and I kept hearing Roth, and I'm like, the fuck is this Roth thing? Like, first of all, like taking it to taking it to logical extreme. I was like, Roth, do me, like I'm like, that doesn't work for me. And then I realized that it was being said with an accent, and it was actually Wrath. And so basically, when someone comes on, and I see them for the first time, I hear about what name, it just comes to me.
So they name themselves too.
They name themselves. And they're not interested in my opinion about anything.
What is LW's secret?
Give her the microphone.
Jesus, strike. I can't tell you. But you'll find out. Hello.
Thank you. First off, I loved when Lassiter turned on his badass and put Wrath in his place. Oh yeah, no, I know. Lassiter has been mine ever since you first introduced him. Yeah. Now the question, Marta. That's right. I'm thinking Mommy and Daddy are Lash and Davina. No?
No, it's just so bad. That is not. That's not Marta's parents. You know. No. Oh my God, we got pink feathers again. I love pink feathers. You know her parents, and this is just I like her, okay, but she needs to keep her fucking hands to herself because that is not the person she fucking ends up with. And no, you can't touch his fucking zipper. I'm sorry. I get real pissy. I get a little. I'm a bitty. Listen. I'm just being honest with you. I'm a bitty girl, so she needs to back the fuck off, or I'll take my earrings off. I'll get my fucking box cutter, and bitch is gonna need some plastic surgery when I'm done with her.
Yeah, I wanted to show you this.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I painted it for the event. But I had a question, but first, I promised my coworker, Antoine, when I show you this clip later, you'll know I said it. He says he wishes you all the best of luck, but but he's had to put up with me talking about specifically Apex and Callum.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And as
that's a Bloom in Winter. Yeah.
as someone who doesn't read these kind of books, he's had to put up with me talking about it. So respectfully, he says, "F you."
Okay.
For writing such addicting books. But my question is, Shuli, is he straight or not?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, yes. But you see, you have to be careful because you're dealing with a lawyer. So if you ask me if he's straight, that means, does he bang women? Yes.
Is he butch straight?
Is he butch straight? That's I want that on a fucking t-shirt, okay? That's a keep reading, but I love Shuli and LW together are like, they are so fucking funny with the bickering. They're like two little old ladies. It's hysterical, and they have to move in with each other. It's awesome.
Hi. So I was just super curious. In my head, it sounds like a lot of different things. Can you give us a preview of what the accent should sound like? Get in character. Give me a full line.
So one of the things that we're going to do when we seek to cast the whole series is we're going to do a worldwide, it truly is an open casting call. So if actors and actresses have European or non-American accents, we're going to use them because I think that's part of what makes it interesting. I'm just going to try and just pass this over here.
With all due respect on the kids, them kids.
Oh, really?
Okay, them kids. Okay, well, that's a little harsh. Oh,
sorry.
Thank you. Okay, first of all, love Wrath. He's the legend. Will we ever read him retiring and passing down his crown?
I don't know. Maybe not.
I guess mine already got asked. I was going to ask if there was any more for Zex in the future.
Yes, absolutely. You'll see more of her. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you'll see Hex. Yeah.
Hi. First, I want to say I'm an Uber driver.
Oh, cool.
And I drive in a college town, mostly. And so I was just talking to some of my passengers. I was going out of town this weekend. They're like, "Oh," I'm like, "It's just a book thing." Trying to be as vague as possible. And they're like, "Oh, what kind of books?" And I'm like, "I know. Paranormal romance." Also, how was your flight? Like, I know I was so shocked to see that you went somewhere that required flying.
I too was shocked that I went somewhere that required flying. I had not been on an airplane for 25 years, and I really think me and Captain fucking Xanax got along just fine. I took a pill and a half of the 0.25 milligrams prior to leaving the house, and about 20 minutes into the trip to the airport, I thought, it's gonna be fine. So then I got on, and it was a quick jump to Atlanta. And having not experienced the loft that occurs, I'm a car guy, so I loved the taking off because that's like the biggest R8 engine in the fucking world. And I was like, this is great, I want one. I was like, oh, this is great. Then we leveled off, and when you level off, you feel like you're kind of like sinking. And I thought, oh, this is not good. Took a half of the 0.25 again. The 0.25, I don't drink as a public service and don't do drugs of any kind. There is a threshold thing to these things. So by the time we got to Atlanta, got off the fucking plane, it was like 50 minutes, right? We got into like the Delta Sky Lounge, right? And I'm sitting in this chair and I'm like, I think I'm going. So, because I don't weigh a ton, and so yeah. But I don't know that I would have been able to do it without the Xanax. Because I mean, in case you haven't noticed, I find sitting still really fucking hard. And so, but yeah, no, it was great. And I don't take vacations. I haven't taken a vacation in 15 years. And even the one I took 15 years ago, I brought my fucking laptop and just jacked it into something, typed like a motherfucker. And maybe it was the Xanax, I don't know. But I found myself hanging out at a fucking pool. And like, my biffle was having hurricanes, and there were others on the team who were just chilling out. There was reggae music and palm trees and this fine ocean with these beautiful, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, this must be what fucking yoga feels like, except without the the bending and the foolishness and the stuff. So it worked out very well, and now I'm like, at least for 48 hours I can maybe do a vacation. So it's a game changer, Would not have been able to do it without the Xanax, though, let me tell you.
Hi, love your books. First time event, so I'm excited. My question is, Wrath and Beth, they've been apart now for 30 years. Is there a possibility of a daughter coming?
No, she has no.
Okay, gotcha.
Her garage there were some structural deficiencies, and the drywall, some rafter problems. The roof was, and so the garage was removed from the property. So, but it doesn't mean that you couldn't borrow someone else's garage and park things that, hey. But I don't think that if things were being parked in someone else's garage, that it would be done the old-fashioned way, if you know what I mean.
I was thinking more like adoption.
Yeah, or adoption, yeah. So anything is possible.
So I have two questions. Does Lash and Davina have a child? Because Davina kind of wanted a family. And then the second question is, why was Lash interrupted when he was turning him?
Okay, so Lash was interrupted because he sensed that Lessers were getting killed. So he had to go and defend the Lessers that were being engaged and dying. So that was the reason why the internet. And then I'm going to do a keep reading on the first part of the question. But I would not want to be their fucking nanny.
Hello. So the book, to me, loved it, but it has an underlying melancholy to it. I don't think we realized Wrath's death, what it really did. It decimated the bonds of the Brotherhood. So the one thing that I would like, maybe in the Caldwell Journal, is some of the reunions that we didn't see, especially with the Brotherhood. We got a word here and there. I think even because we were traumatized, needless to say. I called you some very unnice things in Lassiter's book.
Books were thrown.
Yeah. So I think we need to see some of that so that we heal, and I think that the world needs to heal because, and quite frankly, they need to go back to the damn mansion.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I think Fritz would agree with you. Here's the thing. Do you know in family structures, there tends to be a person that's the glue, and if they pass, there is a fracture of traditions. It's almost like it's like they hold everyone together. This was her father. And so there's this fulcrum that happens around this person, and then everyone sort of disperses when they're gone. And I think I've actually seen that happen in families.
I've lived it.
Yeah. And so I think that with him coming back, you're going to find a return to that. And it's interesting because that was the whole basis of Dark Lover, wasn't it? Because he was supposed to rule, he refused to rule, he found Beth, and then he manned up and he took the throne. And then Darius's vision for the Brotherhood was eventually served out because Wrath kind of brought it. And so one of my favorite scenes in the entire series is when Beth throws open the doors and takes control of the Brotherhood at the end of Lassiter. And so I feel like it's like she is Wrath's glue, which helped him do what he needed to do. But I agree with you. And you'll see it over time. Because one of the things that I see happening are flashbacks in the books. And so the thing was, is I had to make this decision. So I have all these scenes in my head. And I thought, The Beloved needs to be a relatively uncomplicated book. Because we've all got to get used to the new place. And I felt like it's kind of a very linear story. It doesn't have some of the depth that some of the ones when you get the flashbacks, but I was like, if I layer this too much, people need to just sort of like how Dark Lover was a relatively linear book, okay? I thought we need to start there, and now we're going to start seeing some of that depth that you're talking about. But that's a really good question, actually. How are we doing for time? What, we got 5 more? Okay, 5 more questions. Okay, I was like, 5 more minutes. I was like, okay, sorry. Yes.
I've been wanting to ask this question for 2 years now. 2 years. The 25th anniversary or the...
Having trouble concentrating with things on your head. That's amazing. That's so cool. Oh.
There you go. There you go. You're welcome. Hey. We'll be twinsies then. Okay, there we go.
Can't do it.
Take it off. Okay. So,
Dagger.
Dark Lover. We have the hardcovers coming out for the fans. You have to let her answer this. Dark Lover.
I make no promises.
The scribe virgin asked Wrath a favor in Dark Lover. Can we please have the question? And can we please have it answered?
Okay. All right. I will work on it and see how far we go. So like, God damn it.
Okay. Yes, I'm sorry. And then, can you pass it to her first? And then, yes.
Thank you so much. Can I come see you?
Sure. If you want to.
I would love to.
I'm not a fucking prize.
Oh my gosh, I just love you. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous to hug you.
No, it's fine.
Oh my gosh, hi, how are you? I just have to ask you, after all these years, what about the coffins?
Oh yeah, well, okay.
Oh my gosh, I
yes.
have to know.
Yes. So there are things in the coffin, because there are things in the coffin. Yeah, and they're still up on the mountain, but you're gonna know. I promise you.
Are you sure?
Yes, I promise.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
The coffins, like I read about them, and I just want to know about them.
I know because it's yeah. Well, you will find out. You will find out. I promise.
Thank you so much.
I just have, when we first found out who this book was going to be about, a few of these friends of mine in here did not agree with Nate and Nala. And I feel like Nate was perfect because who else could understand Nate besides Z? I mean, seriously, I think that's how come Z was as mellow as he was, because he knew, you know, so great choice.
Well, thank you.
I did not kill Wellesley, and I'm not responsible for who ends up with whom. But I think there's also a deeper thing to it, which is, what do you do if you are the daughter of an epic love story? Okay? And to some degree, that's what these kids have to deal with, is they are the offspring of epic love stories. But what do you do if you come out of like a mating where Z's background is what it is, and Bella has to live with it, and kids are allowed to be selfish. P.S. Like that's the time in your life when you're allowed to be about yourself, right? And so I think one of the other reasons why Nate is the perfect person for Nala is because it gave her insight into what her mother was going through. And so I felt like that moment in the kitchen was so incredibly powerful, because it showed, so I feel like that's why so at first I thought she ended up with sin. Not sin, I'm sorry, sex. I thought she ended up with sex. And then when I started to actually outline, I hadn't seen the scenes. When I started to see the scenes, it like skewed over to Nate, and I was like, oh, this is because it wasn't what I wanted. And then by the end of it, I was like, no, actually, it's the perfect arrangement. Yeah.
Can you pass it to these two lovely ladies there?
I loved how you said when Nala called herself a footnote. I thought that was just very cute. But with the longevity of their lives and the fact that they don't turn until like 25-ish, is an immaturity happening? Because with a time jump, Nala would be late 30s, Nate would be 50s. Like the guy said over there, the kids were a little, I don't know. Does the immaturity last a little bit longer?
So
They're just.
I love it. Hi. Let's just have a little chat here. So you're concerned that the books will feel different? Like, what are what do you mean? Like their life experiences are, because they don't always end up with kids.
No. I'm saying they were just kind of obnoxious.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
Like, are they acting like teenagers?
Oh, they're acting more like teenagers. I think they're very different, and I think you're going to see, this is the first book in the new world, so you have to see the depth of, I wasn't sure how to do this the right way. And so, yes, I would think you're going to see a lot more depth and a lot more maturity from everything.
Okay, I have one more small.
Okay.
Is the reason Vicious was not surprised because he's actually seen how Wrath will eventually die?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's yeah, you got me on that one. Yeah.
that was a good one. That was a good one. I got to give you credit. I was getting a little
like, F you with the immaturity. Yeah, because I'm so threatening, but yeah, you got me. On the.
This is my first time here, so I'm enjoying it. Thank you. So I have a question about the time jump with the prison camp series specifically. So are we, I know V is especially involved in prison camp. So is the reasoning for we seeing V in prison camp while Wrath is away, or is the time jump happening and we're gonna see nothing really happening for 15 years?
Okay, so A Bloomin' Winter, okay, and so if you read that, those questions will be answered. You're like, damn it. Okay. Sorry.
With the time jump, we did not get the opportunity to see the kids transition. So what does Biddy and Bella look like now?
So I guess I didn't do a very good job with that. Biddy has dark hair, and she's colored it with a little, pink in it, and she reminds me a lot about Mary. I think if you were to see her with Mary has very even features. I would say that Biddy looks a lot like Mary, such that if you didn't know them, you might assume that they were blooded mother and daughter. But she's got more. I don't like that word, exotic, so I won't say that. Biddy is her looks are a little bit more like, Mary walks in a room and she's like kind of like low key, but you would notice Biddy, particularly when she's in that black dress and stuff. But again, dark hair and all that stuff. And then I would say Nala looks a lot, she's got that multicolored hair and she's got the yellow eyes, so she tends hard towards the Zadist side of things. I didn't do a very good job. I blame myself.
Oh, would you be willing to pass this through? I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Hi. I started reading your books when my daughter was just a little toddler, and now my daughter reads them too. And so we came to this together. This is the first time we've been to anything like this. But my question is, when you are out, just normal days, do you ever see anybody who inspires what a character is going to look like? No. So it just like with the name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When she said, when you're out in the world living your normal life, I was like, I don't leave the house. I refer to you to the airplane, no 25 years. How are we doing? What time is it?
Oh, 5 minutes. Oh, this has gone by really fast.
Two things. I wasn't going to ask a question until you told your medicine story. I take 1 milligram a day at night to sleep. Yes. And when I went to Japan when I was 30, the doctor told me how much I could take to take the edge off on the plane. It didn't work, so I took my max, and by the time I got to Japan, I was like a drunk, and my dad was ready to kill me. So I wasn't going to say anything until you told your story, and I was like, I know exactly how she feels. Two, this is completely off everyone else's questions, but do you plan to do anything more like St. Ambrose?
So funny that you should mention that. I may have some interesting St. Ambrose news, but there's actually, she goes to college, so there's a second book in that series. And it's even more f***ed up than the first one, which is really saying something. So I would love to write that book.
I was wondering, since we really didn't get Lassiter's backstory in his book, if we'll get his backstory in the future.
Well, I think that would be a great slice of life, because again, it's sort of hard to go back and insert that story now that he's already had his happily ever after. But hi. Yes, I'm going to pick her. It's happening. It's happening.
So it was talked about last year, Eric and Eval. Is that going to happen soon?
Well,
keep reading, but these people all have to end up with someone, so yes.
Okay, question for you. Vicious and Jane, are they going to adopt that pre-trans?
Oh yeah, isn't that funny?
Okay, so Vicious and Alan and the whole thing, and I have to tell you, as I was writing that section, my research assistant and I were talking about it, and it's like, only V could be a father and not fucking know it, Like, it's so perfect. Like, yes, oh, thank you.
King's ring to go with the queen's ring.
Oh, thank you. I'm getting jewelry. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Okay, last question. Let's make it a good one, okay?
So are Shuli and LW going to pop up as their friendship? Like, are they going to be start to get close, even though, so they're going to pop up in other people's stories too?
Yes, you're going to see a lot of LW and yes. Okay, she's like, look at me. She's like, right here. You, me, it's happening. Okay. Okay, I believe you.
Okay, so with the film coming, next year, can you have all the actors here?
Yeah, so. Okay, actually, this is a good question. Sorry, excuse me. Hi, sorry. Okay, sorry, okay. So, I had an idea. I could run this motherfucker through the wall if I keep going like this. Sorry, Alan. Okay, so I have a great idea. So for the 20th anniversary of Dark Lover, which comes out it came out in September of 2005. I think we should do a Black Dagger Brotherhood ball. I totally think we should do this. And I think we should have the actors come to the ball. And so that everyone can see them and stuff. I suspect by then that we'll have the dark. So the way she's going to do it is she's going to do like 4 to 5 50-minute episodes per book. And so there's going to be, which I think actually makes sense because there's just so much in these books. And she really is being faithful to the books themselves. I mean, it's really amazing. I was so astounded. I was like, wait, I wrote that. And it's like, holy shit. And now someone's going to say it. And then they're going to drop their pants. Holy shit. I hadn't really done the math on the love scenes, and I was like, oh, snap, this is going to be interesting. So anyway, I think that'd be great to have the actors here. And so I can't believe we've blown through 2 hours doing this shit. I want to thank everyone for coming. I love the costumes. The costumes are fucking hysterical. When I was up there from the seat of God, which was really kind of fun being up there and seeing everyone, I just love seeing everyone. I'm so grateful to all of you. I'm so grateful that we all got a chance to be here together. And I love my job, and you're the reason I get to do it. So I love you guys.
Everyone, give it up for Gail.
Thank you. I thought that went. Eric? Did you think that went okay?
With you in tennis shoes, I'm glad that they're around because I can't keep up with
I'm so sorry.
Anyone who has any questions about coming to this event, I would say no matter what, it's worth it.
I promise it's better than any comedy show you're ever going to go to. I encourage everyone to come at least once.
It is so worth coming from, I don't care if you got to come from California, do it. You've got to go.